Lionizing by Edgar Allan Poe. "My son," said he, "what is the chief end of your existence?" "I am, that is to say, I was, a great man. But I am neither the author of Junius nor the man in the mask, for my name is Thomas Smith, and I was born somewhere in the city of Fudge. The first action of my life was the taking hold of my nose with both hands. My mother saw this and called me a genius. My father wept for joy and bought me a treatise on nosology. Before I was breeched, I had not only mastered the treatise, but had collected into a commonplace book all that is said on the subject, by Pliny, Aristotle, Alexander Ross, Minucius Felix, Hermanus Pictorius, Del Rio, Villaret, Bartholinus, and Sir Thomas Browne. I now began to feel my way in the science, and soon came to understand that, provided a man had a nose sufficiently big, he might, by merely following it, arrive at a lionship. But my attention was not confined to theories alone. Every morning I took a dram or two, and gave my proboscis a couple of pulls. When I came of age, my father sent for me to his study. "Father," I said, "it is the study of nosology." "And what, Thomas," he continued, "is nosology?" "Sir," I replied, "it is the science of noses." "And can you tell me," he asked, "what is the meaning of a nose?" "A nose, my father," said I, "has been variously defined by about 1,000 different authors. It is now noon, or thereabouts. We shall therefore have time enough to get through with them all by midnight. To commence, the nose, according to Bartholinus, is that protuberance, that bump, that excrescence, that—" "That will do, Thomas," said my father. "I am positively thunderstruck at the extent of your information. I am, upon my soul. Come here," and he took me by the arm. "Your education may be considered as finished, and it is high time you should scuffle for yourself. So. Here he kicked me downstairs and out of the door. So get out of my house, and God bless you." As I felt within me the divine afflatus, I considered this accident rather fortunate than otherwise, and determined to follow my nose. So I gave it a pull or two, and wrote a pamphlet on nosology. All Fudge was in an uproar. "Wonderful genius," said the Quarterly. "Superb physiologist," said the New Monthly. "Fine writer," said the Edinburgh. "Great man," said Blackwood. "Who can he be?" said Mrs. Basblow. "What can he be?" said big Miss Basblow. "Where can he be?" said little Miss Basblow. But I paid them no manner of attention, and walked into the shop of an artist. The Duchess of Bless My Soul was sitting for her portrait. The Marchioness of So-and-so was holding the Duchess's poodle. The Earl of This and That was flirting with her salts, and His Royal Highness of Touch-Me-Not was standing behind her chair. I merely walked towards the artist and held up my proboscis. "Oh, beautiful," sighed the Duchess of Bless My Soul. "Oh, pretty," lisped the Marchioness of So-and-so. "Horrible," groaned the Earl of This and That. "Abominable," growled His Highness of Touch-Me-Not. "What will you take for it?" said the artist. £1,000, said I, sitting down. £1,000, he inquired, turning the nose to the light. "Precisely," said I. "Beautiful," said he, looking at the nose. £1,000, said I, twisting it to one side. "Admirable," said he. £1,000, said I. "You shall have them," said he. "What a piece of virtue." So he paid me the money and made a sketch of my nose. I took rooms in Jermyn Street, sent His Majesty the 99th edition of the Nosology with a portrait of the author, and His Royal Highness of Touch-Me-Not invited me to dinner. We were all lions and recherche. There was a Grand Turk from Stamboul. He said that the angels were horses, cocks, and bulls, that somebody in the sixth heaven had 70,000 heads and 70,000 tongues, and that the earth was held up by a sky-blue cow with 400 horns. There was Sir Positive Paradox. He said that all fools were philosophers, and all philosophers were fools. There was a writer on ethics. He talked of fire, unity, and atoms, bipart and pre-existent soul, affinity and discord, primitive intelligence, and homoemeria. There was Theologos Theology. He talked of Eusebius and Arianus, heresy and the Council of Nice, consubstantialism, homoousios, and homoioisios. There was Fricassee from the Rocher de Cancale. He mentioned Latour, Mark Brunnon and Maraschino, Muraton of red tongue, and cauliflowers with velouté sauce, veal à la Saint Menehout, marinade à la Saint Florentin, and orange jellies on mosaics. There was Signor Tintintintino from Florence. He spoke of Cimabue, Arpino, Carpaccio, and Agostino, the gloom of Caravaggio, the amenity of Albano, the golden glories of Titian, the frows of Rubens, and the waggeries of Jan Steen. There was the great geologist Feldspar. He talked of hornblendy mica slate, quartz, schist, schorl, and pudding stone. There was the president of the Fumfudge University. He said that the moon was called Bendis in Thrace, Bubastis in Egypt, Diane in Rome, and Artemis in Greece. There was Delphinus Polyglot. He told us what had become of the 83 lost tragedies of Aeschylus, of the 54 orations of Isius, of the 391 speeches of Lysias, of the 180 treatises of Theophrastus, of the 8th book of the conic sections of Apollonius, of Pindar's hymns and dithyrambics, and the 45 tragedies of Homer Jr. There was a modern Platonist. He quoted Porphyry, Iamblichus, Plotinus, Proclus, Hierocles, Mammon Tyrius, and Syrianus. There was a human perfectibility man. He quoted Turgot, Price, Priestley, Condorcet, de Stael, and the ambitious student in rather ill health. There was myself. I talked of Pictorius, Del Rio, Alexander Ross, Minucius Felix, Bartholinus, Sirthose Brown, and the science of noses. Marvelous clever man, said His Highness. Superb, said the guests, and the next morning her grace of Bless My Soul paid me a visit. Will you go to Almack's, pretty creature? She said. Certainly, said I. Nose and all? She asked. Positively, I replied. Here, then is a card, she said. Shall I say you will be there? Dear Duchess, with all my heart. Pshaw, no, but with all your nose. Every bit of it, my life, said I. So I gave it a pull or two and found myself at Almack's. The rooms were crowded to suffocation. He is coming, said somebody on the staircase. He is coming, said somebody farther up. He is coming, said somebody farther still. He is come, said the Duchess. He is come, the little love, and she caught me by both hands and looked me in the nose. Ah, jolie, said Mademoiselle Pucelle. Dios guarda, said Don Stiletto. Diavolo, said Count Capricornuto. Toussaint Teufel, said Baron Bludenough. Tweedledee, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, said the orchestra. Ah, jolie, Dios guarda, Diavolo, and Toussaint Teufel, repeated Mademoiselle Pucelle, Don Stiletto, Count Capricornuto, and Baron Bludenough. It was too bad, it was not to be borne. I grew angry. Sir, said I to the Baron, you are a baboon. Sir, replied he after a pause, Donner and Blitzen. This was sufficient. The next morning I shot off his nose at 6 o'clock and then called upon my friends. Bet, said the first. Fool, said the second. Ninny, said the third. Dolt, said the fourth. Noodle, said the fifth. Ass, said the sixth. Be off, said the seventh. At all this I felt mortified and called upon my father. Father, I said, what is the chief end of my existence? My son, he replied, it is still the study of nosology. But in hitting the Baron's nose you have overshot your mark. You have a fine nose, it is true, but then Bludenough has none. You are D, and he has become the lion of the day. In Fumfudge great is a lion with a proboscis, but greater by far is a lion with no proboscis at all.